So this is the week's woke news. The biggest story is that Mr. Donald J. Trump's trial that's accusing Trump for fraud and are slipping him with a $355 million ruling. And man, sir.
The former president ordered to pay more than $350 million and banned from running a business in New York or applying for loans in the state for 3 years. His two sons each fined $4 million and barred from doing business in New York for 2 years, thrusting the leadership of the family company into peril.
And it's getting even higher and even higher. And truckers are starting to fight back by having a massive strike in New York and stop shipping anything there.
I've been on the radio talking to drivers for about the last hour 15 minutes. And I'm talking to at least 10 drivers going the other way. I'm heading down from South Wisconsin. And they're going to start refusing loads in New York City.
The move can paralyze the city, but if New York loses just 10% of their trucks to go in there, well, get ready for this one. Their prices are gonna skyrocket, and everything from eggs down to any food goods or consumer needs, you're essentially screwed, sir. In other words, a pandemic on top of another pandemic. And for that, can I get a sir?
And welcome back, everyone. Taking a live look this morning over New York City, the battleground for a trucker boycott today in support of former President Donald Trump. Now, the group says they are refusing shipments to New York City after a New York judge on Friday found Trump liable for conspiring to manipulate his wealth. The fine over $350 million in this civil fraud case. Now, the former president threw his support behind the boycott. Look at this right here, saying this on Truth Social on Saturday. Such an honor to have so many great patriots on the side of freedom. Joe Biden's unfair and dangerous weaponization of law enforcement is a serious threat to democracy. Make America great again, end quote. Of course, keep in mind this is a civil fraud case in New York brought by the state attorney general, Letitia James, and not the Biden administration. But Trump is getting a lot of support here. One trucker known as Chicago Ray wrote on social media saying, "I stand with Trump because Trump stands with me." Truckers for Trump ain't just a slogan, it's real. That's what this guy says right here.
And that's not all. Now, New York company owners are starting to wake the hell up and are now having to freak out because that means if Trump loses this trial, which a lot of people are realizing, he's being accused of fraud. Doing what exactly? Well, all investors do and have been doing for years. So this quickly became more than just a Donald Trump story.
New York was already a loser state. Like California is a loser state. There are many loser states because of policy, high taxes, uncompetitive regulation. It was already on the top of the list of being a loser state. I would never invest in New York now, and I'm not the only person saying that. And here's a real-time situation. In development in real estate right now, the hottest asset class is very high-end data centers. They cost anywhere from $2.5 to $3.5 billion each. I can't go to New York. So I'm going to Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia. Governor Stitt, Kevin Stitt, my staff have met with him. Governor Burgum, the same thing. Governor Justice. Those are winner states. They don't do things like this. I have to syndicate that debt and all that equity. We're talking billions of dollars here. Do you think any foreign institution or any private equity firm or any pension fund would touch New York? No. And that's why New Yorkers should be concerned. The fine people of New York should ask themselves, why are we such a loser state?
So let me explain this in human terms. This means anyone in New York and any other blue state like California are going to do the exact same shit, which means they can take everything you work for, if you're a company, for essentially no reason and take it from you and assume a price with obviously it's gonna be valued a lot less than what it is, just like Trump's mansion being sold less than what it's worth.
Forget about Trump. Every single real estate developer everywhere on earth does this. They always talk about their asset being worth a lot, and the bank says no. And that's just the way it is. So in this case, when I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not pro or con, or I don't care about the politics, who lost money? Nobody. The bank got paid back the construction finance loan, and a new building was built. And if you're going to sue this case and win, you got to sue every real estate developer everywhere. This is all they do. This is what they do all day long, every day. So I don't think this thing will ever survive appeal, regardless of what the fine is. This doesn't even make sense. Now, look, I know Trump's got a lot of problems in other indictments and everything else, but this, if you're a real estate developer, you're watching this, you're saying, what is this? This is ridiculous.
Then we have Stephen Colbert have a random ass meltdown, and to give you a reminder who the hell that is, it's the late night host guy that did the whole cringy vaccine dance. And now in 2024, late night hosts were supposed to be funny and make jokes, but now are doing the same thing as the last election. Like, can y'all remember now? So it's time for Trump is bad, fear-mongering times 1,000 at this time, sir.
Now to someone who was once mildly funny, but sadly their brain, their spirit, appears to have been broken by Trump derangement syndrome. This is alleged comic Stephen Colbert.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race.
About as funny as an ingrown toenail and about as useful. And by the way, Stephen, if you think no one doubts he did all these things, then your circle is pitifully small. There's a reason why he's leading in the polls.
The heck did we have? Oh yeah, and then we had a big ass trans person, which means a grown ass man pretending to be a girl to beat women. So there's no surprise we got a lot of people, a lot of males changing, because they suck playing with extra men. So in Massachusetts, a high school girl basketball team reportedly had to forfeit a whole ass game after a transgender player on the opposing team injures 3 female players.
Except this video showing boys playing on girls' teams is anything but fair. It's dangerous. This isn't about the suspected transgender kid. It really isn't. We should all have compassion for anybody who's going through such a difficult and confusing time as a teenager. So just put him or her, or however they would like to be identified, aside for a second. This is about all the other girls on the court. They also deserve fairness. There's nothing fair about playing against people born of the opposite sex who are twice one's size. There's nothing fair about getting beat up on a basketball court where the referees live in fear of trans activists. There's nothing fair about a school where the coaches do the right thing only for the administrators to both sides their statement.
So this big ass dude that's over 6.5 feet tall. This dude's almost hell no. Says going against real biological women is insane and ridiculous to debate this. Like, it really is. I don't know how the heck people can see the goodness in this. The woman in the video obviously was having back injuries, which you can see it. She's holding her back. She's in pain, bro. And that's just one of them. With her lower back so bad, she couldn't get up. You gave people a damage, and now they take a freaking mile. And if you're watching how dangerous this is, and you still for this BS, then you simply have some loose screws, sir. And for that, bro, can I get a man, sir? One girl had a facial fractures. Can never pronounce that. Bruh. One girl had facial fractures all over her face, and with a bunch of woke people saying this isn't happening, is at this point, they're pretty much full of it. And remember, only 3 got hurt because they had to forfeit the match in halftime. So they only played half the game, and they already had 3 people injured. If you kept this thing going, I wouldn't be surprised there were more women getting injured, probably 3 more. So it was so bad that 5 women left on the game were so scared they were trembling to continue playing the damn game. And if those words don't hurt you inside or make you feel a certain way, then you, sir, you're a soy boy. Beta! And with more Trump news, we have someone make a GoFundMe for Mr. Donald J. Trump. And I mean, man, sir, hey, that's some baller ass stuff.
There's also a GoFundMe page created by Elena Cardone, the wife of a wealthy real estate investor, Grant Cardone. It's called Stand for Trump. Fund the $355 million unjust judgment. As of this morning, it's already raised more than $390,000.
And the crazy thing is it actually, I guess you could say it blew up, but it's not even near the goal. And people are already calling a GoFundMe response to call to shut down the Donald Trump fundraiser. Bro, these people are evil. And the GoFundMe fundraisers for Trump for the $355 million penalty, not against site rules. So it's still staying for now. So GoFundMe is like, go fuck yourself. That's so good. Got it. The fun is about that they're almost hitting 1 million, which is a long way from 355 million. And that's like not including after, the interest and all that. The dude's probably going to play over 4 million to be sure. And let's not forget, this wasn't Trump's first GoFundMe, by the way. There was another one for the wall a while back.
A GoFundMe page started by a veteran has raised almost $14 million in 4 days. Brian Colfage wants to give the money to the federal government to help fund a border wall, and the GoFundMe page has a Colorado connection. The $14 million doesn't include checks, which can be sent to a P.O. box in Castle Rock mentioned on the page. We found that P.O. box belongs to Amanda and Tim Shea, who say they're business partners with the veteran who started all of this.
That was like 5 years ago, man. And then we had Representative Barbara Lee say she wants to raise the minimum wage to $50. Bruh. And bro, this one definitely deserves a can I get a man, sir, this bitch is crazy.
For the Gen Z community that was thinking about getting a government job because it's more safe, more stable, and they're willing to pay off your student loan 10 years later, I want you to consider this California Congresswoman running for Senate who's calling for a $50 minimum wage. True story. Sweetheart of a lady. Let's go through it. All right, so here she is, okay? Page number 4. Democratic Representative Barbara. Why is it all Democrats or Barbaras?
All Barbaras.
Right? Barbara Lee is defending her call for $50 minimum wage. I think you're thinking too small, Barbara. We got to go to 100, okay?
100's better.
$50 minimum wage, that's more than 6 times the current federal minimum wage in the U.S. Lee is running in a competitive Senate race to fill the seat of the late Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein. She argues California cannot get by on less than $100,000 due to the state's cost of living crisis. Lee was asked during a Senate debate on Monday how her $50 an hour minimum wage proposal would be economically sustainable for small businesses. She claimed she has been a small business owner who's created hundreds of jobs and argued employees need to be taken care of and have a living wage. Just do the math. Just do the math, Lee said during the debate.
Lee's proposal means that minimum wage workers would make more than $100,000 in a year, bro. Let that settle in. It sounds great, but when are you guys gonna learn? The more you raise minimum wage, everything else gets more expensive. It happens over and over again, and no one seems to get that. They just think of the instant gratification and see more money. So, in the Senate, Barbara Lee says, just do the miles. Just do the miles. Bro, you know they got this lady just because she's black. Bro, this is a problem. Bro, this whole wokeness of gating people just because of the color of their skin, we need 50% Asians, 50 black. Bro, no, get somebody because they're good. They're crooked ass politicians. So when people learn if minimum wage goes up, inflation goes higher and would make any money you have saved in your savings worth a lot less. And that's it, bro. Don't get schooled by this. And I'll leave it as that. So if you made it this far, bro, give me a like. And if you like the dumbass things I say, bro, subscribe. And that'll be all. Chinmonmon out.